think this is your towel? Do you even wash it?
No, I don't wash the towel. The towel washes me. Who washes a towel?
You never washed?
You wash your towel?
You never wash the towel?
What am I gonna do? Wash the shower net?
Thank you. And can I just say, I loved you in IMDb.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the theater.
It seems like it's a play. There's no way you could write this, though. It's the Al Travis Show. I've got him. Senator Jeff Howe. Senator, I don't know how long you've been on with me, but I remember back in the old days, it's like I'd say, okay, Senator Howe's coming on. What will we talk about today? In the last 3 or 4 weeks, Senator Howe's coming on. I don't have time to talk about this. I am culling the list to find out what to talk about. How are you, sir? Good God, in a week a lot's happened.
You can't keep track. You can't keep track of everything that happened. Look at just in the 2 weeks, you couldn't believe that just a mere less than 2 weeks ago, Walz announced he wasn't running.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, we invaded. We took out not Noriega,
Venezuela.
But,
Manuel.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Not Manuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not whatever his name is.
Out of Venezuela.
How long? There's so much stuff coming at us, we can't even keep track of it all.
Well, let's start with what happened in your backyard up in St. Cloud. Can we do that for now? Sure. And you're up there, so I want your side. What I understood was ICE agents, I think it was Sunday, went to a business, like 12 of them, 6 of them, something like that, and a crowd comes out of the mall and basically ran them off. Well, that doesn't work.
It was 2. From my understanding, it was 2.
Okay.
They ran those 2 off.
And ICE doesn't get run off much, so they showed back up on Monday with enforcements. And then the people came out in force. Now, I did not know this. I talked with... You guys have a Somali television station? Literally just a Somali TV show or cable show or something?
It's the only show in town. It's on a public access channel is what it is.
Okay, because
public cable.
I live in a small town. We have like Blue Earth cable, and it runs when the trash, when you can bring your crap. It's just information stuff that pops up. But this is for them, and the word went out, as I understand it, and hundreds showed up at the mall. And this is where the problem started, right?
From my understanding, seeing the video that everybody's seen, it was a group. Let's dial it back.
Okay.
When ICE first came into town, and the thing is, with Walz and Fry poking the bear constantly, saying that, we're not going to play and you can't do this to us. You don't poke Trump and think you're going to not get a response, right? I mean, if anything we've learned through his campaigns and everything else, you go after Trump, Trump's going to come back, So what happens is when ICE came into town, they actually did notify the sheriff's departments that they were coming. Okay. They were going to do operations. 3 counties, 3 small counties, and you have a bigger problem with news traveling in a smaller county than a bigger county, because in a smaller county, that dispatcher's probably dating somebody that's probably, who the hell do you know? I mean, the sheriff might have a friend of a friend.
People don't get small towns. People do not get how quick, you're absolutely correct.
You know when somebody forgot to wash their towels or whatever, right? It just happens.
It's different.
Those of us that grew up in small towns. So when they notified those 3 counties that they were coming and they showed up, they found out that it was all a bust. They were gone, right?
Okay.
It broke up their operations. So that's when they decided they couldn't trust anybody, so they had to close hold it. I've talked to Chief Jeff Oxton at the St. Cloud Police Department. He's a good friend of mine from back when I was on the fire department. Goes back that many years. And I talked to him, and he's been in conversation with the ICE folks, and they're in a bad situation, not knowing, trying to keep people safe off the street. And now you've got vigilante groups following unmarked police cars, the ICE deals, and all the ICE vehicles, and all that does is create havoc, and it makes it unsafe for everyone.
Can I interrupt? Is St. Cloud a sanctuary city like Minneapolis and St. Paul? I don't know that. I should probably know all that.
So that was one of the questions constituents asked me, and that prompted my question to the chief of police and to the sheriff. And no, they cooperate, right?
Okay.
And really the St. Cloud Police Department really doesn't hold anybody. They take them right straight to the jail, right? So so that's why I had to call Sheriff Soika to see, hey, are you holding these folks on detainer for the ICE if they want them? And he does. Now, do they all get turned over? No, because sometimes it doesn't happen lately, but sometimes the ICE folks are so understaffed that they can't send.
They have to get them in 48 hours or something. Yeah, they got 2 days.
Right,
yeah,
there's a timeline. They can drag their feet on a few things to make that a little bit longer. They can, but there's only so long they can keep them. Yeah, and it depends on criminal charges or civil charges, so it really makes a difference. But yeah, they cooperate. So the thing is that people got to, and what I found really hypocritical of what Ilhan Omar said, Congresswoman Omar, and those other two congresswomen said when they got kicked out of the ICE holding facility.
Yep.
The issue there is we got to do our jobs, right? Well, it's the court ruling says that you got to give them 7 days, right, or whatever. You got to get them notice. So, but they want to be able to do their jobs as a congressman. Well, why don't you let the ICE folks do their jobs? It's a little hypocritical to say you're not allowing us to do our jobs, but you are stirring the pot and not allowing those ICE folks to do their jobs. So let's take a breath. Let's step back. Let's calm down. Let's get out of people's faces, and let's let people do their jobs. And I got a call from a friend of mine down from southern Minnesota, said, hey, are they just rounding up people, or they got a target list? Mm-hmm. And what they do is they get a portfolio of a target, and they go after that target. That's what they do. Now, they're not opposed to targets of opportunity, right? Yeah.
And what you're saying for the non-military, should you be going for your target and another human shows up that is illegal or isn't here right, they have no problem saying you're coming with us as well. We're not looking away from a target that for non-military personnel.
Yeah, that's right. So this guy's wife and a friend happened to pull into a parking lot where ICE were doing operations, right?
Yep.
And they walked back there, had him get out of the vehicle, identified him, and it scared the living bejesus out of him, of course.
Sure.
But then they told him just, hey, get in your car and leave. And that's what happened, right? So if you just obey what they tell you, stay out of their hair, let them do their job, this doesn't have to be confrontational at all.
Well, let me ask you this, and because you're not running for re-election, right? So, I mean, I think, can you spill the beans in people in your line of work? Is there some code you all go by? And I mean, I'm being really sarcastic, that y'all think we're stupid? Because here's... Fry was on TV today, and it might have been from a yesterday video, but I saw it today, saying, because some reporter said, do you think your rhetoric might be causing issues? And he goes off, name one thing I've ever said. I ain't said nothing make anybody hurt. And then literally they show, get the F out of my city. Your answers to these questions are BS. And then I'm going to say, so that's him. Like, really, you don't think I can remember a week ago when you told him to get the F out? Now the governor is on television saying that these are, well, you've all heard the Gestapo stuff, but his was that this Thompson, the attorney Thompson, should have been fired. He's inept. He's no good, and all the rest right after this shooting. And then day before yesterday, he comes out and he goes off on how great a guy this guy was. I took it. He is, Joe is a principled public servant who spent more than a decade achieving justice. This is the same guy 1 week later. Do politicians just think there's no internet? That Al can't remember more than a week? Is this some subplot that people think we're just stupid?
Well, they believe that the voting public has a very short memory. I think they're testing just exactly how short that is, right? I don't know. I don't. I can't tell you one thing one day and tell you another and the next because I can't remember that long. I got to tell the truth every day, right?
See,
I can't
that would be the
remember
other thing. If you told the truth, you don't have to remember what you said.
right.
See, that's the only thing my mom used to say.
You always got to be an honest broker in my deal
Right.
because it's just the way life is supposed to work.
All right.
But-
More stuff. I got to go to break, and I don't want to do this, but I want to lead you into what happened last night. There's a shooting last night with an illegal alien they were picking up at a traffic stop. He ended up getting shot in the leg.
Don't let me forget about why they do traffic stops as opposed to finding them at their home.
Okay, I'll make a note. I got to remember what you're saying now. I have a hard enough time up here if I remember for a week. But here's what Walls was saying literally hours before in his press conference. He said, we need to end this occupation of this campaign of organized brutality against people of Minnesota. Do you really think he's bringing down the temperature? Hours later, somebody's going after a cop with a shovel? We'll be back after this on the Al Travis Show.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on the Al Travis Show.
I've got him. He's Senator Jeff Howe, and I was supposed to remind you, I wrote a note because I don't remember stuff. Why is it they're doing traffic stops? This shooting last night, as I understand it, they were after a guy and they had him in a car, so they pulled a traffic stop on him, and that's when everything went south. And you wanted to say something. Why the traffic stop?
They try to do it at the traffic stop because then there's limited amount of people around. And it doesn't end up to be a barricade situation where they got to extract them out of a home where other people might be there or an apartment building. So they try to do it at the safest place that they can do it. And
that makes
that's usually at a traffic stop when they're alone, because they get them. They know where they're going, where they're coming from. They've got the file on them. They got the target list. They know where he's going to be, where he's coming from, and that's why they try to do it on a traffic stop. Much safer for everyone involved.
Put your hat on for the other side. You, of course, stick up for the young lady who was tragically killed in this car a week ago. 1 week later, there's a man who they're actually going after because of his detainer, gets shot in the leg after coming after a cop with a broom and or a shovel. There might be both. Can the Democrats stick up for that action?
Well, apparently that's what the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, Fry, that's what they've been saying, right? Yep. You got to protect your neighbors. Yep. When they see someone getting arrested in their yard, they're supposed to follow their leadership. They came out of the yard to protect their neighbors. Isn't that what they're being told?
Well, it is. Yeah.
But I don't see it that way. Of course, I don't, and I know you don't either. But I don't understand how you get there, right? How do you go out and beat up a guy with a badge?
I said this on the show many times. I can't see me spitting at a cop. I can't see doing any of this. And this goes with the police chief. A Minneapolis police chief was on last night after this incident, saying that their people are running thin because they got to go cover this stuff. There's a shooting and they're there. And he said straight up, this is the Minneapolis police chief who has been an interesting guy in this whole case. But he said there are massive crowds doing bad things. They're doing illegal things. They're shooting fireworks and throwing things at the cops. He says, and this is what drives me nuts, sir. He said, I'm asking you all to go home. I'm sorry. You threw a firework at a cop. You threw a rock at a cop. Cop, go take him to the jail. Don't ask him to go home to do it again. And maybe I'm just a right-wing knucklehead. But to say, okay, you did it a couple of times. Now go home.
Well, they have been trained this way, right? What happened to George Floyd riots, right? Yep. We didn't stop anybody. How many people got arrested? The people that did get arrested during the George Floyd riots, how many of them actually got prosecuted by local prosecutors? Yeah. The only ones that got prosecuted were federal prosecutors.
Well, and I think that's what would change here, because if the ICE agents arrest these people, that's a federal thing. You're going to go to federal court. This is not going to be handled by Moriarty or whatever in Hennepin County. I think folks need to know that. But again, police chief, go get them then. You have your people there, arrest them for shooting fireworks at cops.
The ICE can take them to a federal holding facility, wherever they got that, right?
Yeah.
In Sherburne County.
The Wiffle building, yeah.
Yeah, but where are they going to hold all of those if they start rounding all those folks up?
I don't know, but it doesn't stop. You get more emboldened. You shoot a couple of fireworks at a cop, nothing happens to you. It's a good time, Charlie. You go back out the next night and do it again. It doesn't go away if you don't take the bad guys out.
If you'd studied any psychology, you get that mob psychology, right? You're not a person anymore. You're part of the mob, and you're doing what the mob is doing. And so as soon as you get singled out and now you're an individual, as an individual, you probably wouldn't have done these things.
Yep,
but as long as you're in a group and a mob, so you start singling some of these people out and you disperse that, you won't have these issues because you lose that mob mentality. But
let me ask you this.
We're not doing anything to stifle that.
1 minute to go. The big news story up until a week ago last Wednesday was all the fraud and people coming in here from all over the federal government to get rid of the fraud. That almost falls off the page. Here we are a half hour into this, and we're not going to talk about it. Is the fraud situation going to go away? Or as soon as this conversation dies down and we stop hearing about this on today, will we get back to fraud, in your opinion?
And what people need to understand, it's the fraud and all of that is causing us the cost of goods and affordability of everything going up, right? Yeah. If we cut out the fraud, could you imagine all that fraud was carried as spending in our budget? $9 billion of spending that did not have to happen, that came right out of yours and my back pocket.
It is almost unfathomable, and we'll get to it more as we go. I'm out of time. Senator, I have no idea what we'll be talking about a week from now, but there'll be about 5 things we won't talk about because they won't make to the top of the page. I appreciate you.
We won't even remember what happened last week, right? I mean, holy smokes, who knew that? It seems like yesterday, Walz just announced he wasn't running for re-election, doesn't it?
It sure does.
It was
I got to
less
fly,
than
my
2
friend.
weeks ago.
We'll talk. Senator Jeff Howe.
Think about it.